Welcome to Oh Hell No with Nicole.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Oh Hell No podcast. Today we have Michael Marra. Is it Marra or Marra?
It's Marra.
Marra.
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
You're good.
He's an entrepreneur, and we're going to talk all about his Me Group and whatever else he has brewing. Welcome, Michael. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm very excited to chat with you. We definitely are going to have a great time.
Yeah, I think so too. So the first question I want to ask you is, what was your major in college?
It was civil engineering, actually.
Wow.
Civil and environmental engineering, for it to be precise.
That's awesome. Okay. So what made you pick that major?
It was a lot of, when I was going through school, I was, I guess, naturally kind of good at math and sciences and everything. Mm-hmm. And I always liked designing things, building things, Legos, all that stuff. And, shops in high school and just being kind of creative with it. So engineering seemed like a good opportunity. I was very much interested in like architecture and designing things, building things. So that seemed like the best route for me. And then, civil engineering is a very conservative, stable, secure, field to be in with generally good pay. So it seemed like the right approach for me at the time.
Yeah, that sounds really good. I used to work at an airline, and there were a lot of engineers there, and they were really smart. So that's really cool. So what did you do professionally after completing school?
Yeah, so I'm not the brightest engineer by any means. I was actually probably towards the bottom of my class in college. But I focused more on, having a good time in college rather than just studying away like a lot of the other engineers in my program. But after college, I got a job with an engineering firm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was working a lot with designing, doing environmental work and designing well pads and sites for natural gas drilling.
Nice. So what did you love about that work?
What did I love about it? Well, it was kind of interesting, right? It was not a bad job. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff was really, really interesting to learn about, just how these companies pick sites, how they go from basically a complete wooded area to a whole site that is producing natural gas, and they're drilling, and there's a lot of activity going on. And it's pretty wild how the transformation happens, and being a part of that and seeing the designs that you worked on come to life. So that part of it was cool, but going to an office pretty much every day and, going through the motions and designing and working on somebody else's job or building someone else's project with not having much say creativity wise or changing things up at all. It's kind of tough, especially with someone who is curious and, interested in those types of things as I am. So it had definitely a lot of pros and, a lot of cons as well.
Yeah. What made you decide to leave corporate America? Like, what was the thing that just made you say, I can't take it anymore, I'm out of here?
Yeah, so it really was when I was spending more time researching, learning about other things, right? So when I was in college and stuff, I was always interested in the business world and stocks and things like that. And I was investing throughout college, and then I just got more into it. And then I started diving into entrepreneurship. And it got to the point where I was just researching that stuff way more. I was so much more passionate about it. And I started diving deeper and deeper into online businesses and online marketing and real estate and all these different things. And it just ended up, it came down to, even if I leave my job, do something, completely fail, nothing works, like I can always find another job, right?
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Absolutely.
there's always something to go back to. But at the same time, it's like you have to understand the whole kind of happiness equation side to things. It's like, even if nothing works out, would I still be happier, like, doing my own thing rather than working at this job and working and building someone else's dreams up? That's like the reality of it. And then it just got to the point where it was a very simple answer, and it was, yeah, I mean, I need to quit. Like, I'm not happy. I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm not being myself. Right. So that's what it came down to.
Yeah, I'm always so impressed with people who figure that out and are able to be, strong enough to say, I'm just going to take this chance and step out on faith and just do it. Like, I think that's so amazing because it's really difficult to do that. So I want to know, how did you plan your escape from corporate America, and when did you execute the plan? Like, did you sit down and think about it and plan? Because, again, we all need money to survive. Money is not the end all be all, but it's a very important factor in all of our lives. So how did you kind of plan this out?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I really didn't at all. And I don't recommend my approach to anybody, because I pretty much just jumped ship. I was like, just gonna figure this out. Like, I can't go another week going to work every day. I don't care. Like, worst comes to worst, like, I'll figure something out.
Right.
Doesn't matter. But I cannot do what I'm doing. The funny thing is, it wasn't even that really bad of a job. It just was, I wasn't being myself, right?
Yeah.
So I don't recommend doing that to anyone. My whole thing was, I thought by having a mentor, I was going to be successful, right? And, I thought right after I quit my job that I was going to start making money once I went full time into real estate, and once I went full time into, all this stuff that I was learning. I was like, there's no doubt, like, I'll be making money here very soon. And then, months roll around, still no money coming in. You're trying to figure out other ways to make money here or there. Now, there's different approaches that every single person has to take based on their own individual position in life, right? So
Yeah.
if you have, children and other responsibilities, you can't take the same type of risks that other people can take.
Right.
So I was in a position where, yeah, I had some money saved. Yes, I, had family that I could go stay with, if things, came down to it. And I was fresh out of college, so I could always go back home. And, there was not a huge, risk for me in my position.
Right.
For other people, they have to take a more detailed approach to it and have money coming in, have cash flow coming in every single month for them to quit their job, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. They have to create a cash flow system. They need to create some type of residual income, whether that be from, whatever it is that they're wanting to do, whether it be coaching, e-com, podcast, blog, you name it. There's a way to make some type of cash flow for it. But it's making sure you're not losing track of who you are through the process of becoming an entrepreneur and chasing money.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yep. You got to be true to who you are, especially if you decide you're going to be an entrepreneur, right? Because this is your business that you're creating and it has you all over it. So you can't be modeling it after someone else because you're trying to do what someone else is doing, you know? So,
Totally.
I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was just saying totally. That's really why I am branding my whole company me, is for not just like me, but for for everyone to really focus on themselves and making sure they're being their most true self every day, going through the motions of a career or stepping into an entrepreneurial path. A lot of entrepreneurs chase money or some type of status, and instead of really understanding who they are as an individual and then build a business around that.
Yeah, that is great. I love where the name of your company came from. So let's talk a little bit about your company. You created this company called Me Group, right? ME people. That's my mom's initials too. She loves saying it's all about me. So I love that that's the reason behind the name. That's really cool. So you created this company. What is the focus for your company? How are you helping entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so, well, there's kind of two meanings to the name. So there is the me factor, but it also stands for millennial entrepreneur because that's really the majority of the people in my network. So what we're focused on is building the largest network and education platform for entrepreneurs. So our whole network is built to provide entrepreneurs with the ability to easily connect, collaborate, and learn on one platform with other entrepreneurs, with like-minded people, helping you find mentors, coaches, co-founders, developers, investors, whatever have you, whatever you're looking for in one place, so that you don't have to spend time scanning through these other social networks and whatnot, trying to find the right people, like-minded people that can help you start and grow a company. And that's really, there's a lot of other things that we're going to be building around that, but that's really the main premise for my company.
That's really awesome. So you offer a lot of free information on your site. And I see that a lot of people on social media make money by, dangling the carrot and then selling you a whole bunch of stuff, right? But you offer a lot of free information. Why is so much of your information free? And it's not just like surface information. It's like really detailed, quantity stuff.
Yeah, I'm really just building and designing the exact platform I wish there was when I was first starting out as an entrepreneur. So all the things that I've learned over like the last 3 years, I'm putting all of this information and information from other experts and mentors in our community and elsewhere, that we're putting all this information and breaking it down to such a simplified level where, like you said, we are offering a lot of information for free. We have a lot of different ebooks on a lot of different ways you can start and grow a business. And then we also offer a lot of free, video courses and things like that as well. Plus our entire network and the community aspect of this is totally free. And then the higher level stuff and the full courses and the whole mentor dashboard, with which you're going to be, a mentor on there. So people can even, get some advice from you on podcasting and everything as well. That's really where the high level stuff is, right? I wanted to create something where even if you have no money at all, you can still get enough information to learn how to start and grow your company. But if you really want to accelerate things, if you really want to get the detailed information, that's when you jump into the full version of Me University. And right now that's only $17 a month. So I'm trying to bring stuff that is usually hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, down to a fraction of the cost, because we've all been there. any entrepreneur has gone through and paid for the courses, the seminars, the coaching, all of that. And a lot of times it is very expensive, and entrepreneurs just starting out, it's tough, right? So we want to give, people the opportunity to jump in to a community, get educated, and learn how to start and grow their company without having to, go to college and join the entrepreneurship program, or pay someone, $1,000 for some course, and it's not even something that they find out that is for them, right? They're losing themselves through that process. So we really want to give people a lot of different options and help them learn about a bunch of different types of businesses that they can do, and really, take a more holistic approach to it, really focus on the mindset, figuring out their passions, their purpose, their curiosity, narrowing down what business model and what business industry is right for them as the individual.
Yeah, that is so fascinating. I love your group. He has a group on Facebook where people who are, all entrepreneurs and trying to grow their business, they all connect and, exchange information, talk about books, talk about different things. So, I mean, it's a really amazing company and group. I think you did a great job. And I saw when you did this from like the very beginning, at least when you started posting it and you were like, I'm starting this. And I've just seen it grow so fast and like so big, it's amazing. You're doing awesome.
Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And yeah, you did come in, early on, and it's awesome. And there's a lot of other people that have been with us, from the beginning, and it really hasn't been that long even.
Yeah.
Most of the people have just started coming through in like August and September, October. So this is not, that old, but we have thousands of entrepreneurs, and the Facebook group, and we have other Facebook groups too, depending on different interests that you have, like health and wellness, and we have a book club and a music community and stuff as well. But the real thing, like what Facebook has allowed us to do, is create a social network and a community as we're really building out our main platform. So we're really trying to not just create, another Facebook group like everyone else, but actually create a whole new platform and social network for just entrepreneurs, and make it its own thing, really. So that's what we're working on, and right now we're just focused on continuing to grow this community, to continuing to get great people in the network like yourself and others. And there's so many amazing people already involved. It's really awesome.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. I love the mixers that you have. I'm going to have to, get to one of those mixers. So when you do like where you bring people together like physically to see each other, how do you coordinate that? Is it just you just put it out on social media and you meet someplace, or do you actually have to like find a location, make sure there's like hors d'oeuvres and drinks? Like what is involved in pulling something like that together?
Yeah, so I started doing these events actually just in my office. I was kind of sick of going to crappy networking events, especially for entrepreneurs. There's not many, at least in Pittsburgh or a lot of other cities that I've gone to as well. So I really just wanted to start finding other people in the space here in Pittsburgh. So we've done 5 now. It started off, there was probably 20 people at the first one, then 30, 40, 50. Now we're getting 50 plus at the last few. And it's just been amazing. There's so many cool people coming in, and a lot of people I would honestly consider like friends that I've met through my events. And then a lot of people that, are creating amazing businesses, and, we're helping out them as well. So we really want to start taking our online community physical by holding these events, and we're going to start doing them in other cities as well. And there's other people in our community who want to start growing a local network in their city. We want to help them build that and grow that and help them put on these events as well. So if anyone's interested in, growing a local entrepreneur community and putting on events, we're going to help them do that. And it starts by first building the online presence, building your social media following, building up a Facebook group for your area and an email list, so you have some base, right? And then you can set up, we just started with an Eventbrite page. Eventbrite is a great platform. It's totally free, and they also have a payment processor and everything, and it links up with Facebook. So you can actually do paid events. I mean, ours are mostly free. We've done one paid event, and that was more like a bigger event. We had, a lot of food, drinks, gift baskets, a lot of great things. But our other events are free. I mean, we have snacks and, drinks as well. But it's not that hard to get started. You just have to be dedicated to what you're doing, right? And just keep, putting one foot in front of the other, make connections in your city and area. A lot of spaces, especially for startups and entrepreneurs, want to put on events at their location. So we've had no issues with finding venues, because like co-working space, accelerators, incubators, a lot of other offices and restaurants and stuff, they love having entrepreneurs, businesses, startups in their place, right? So they're very open to discussing events and everything. It's just building up your following first before you hold an event, just to make sure you have some type of base at your event, so some people beforehand, and some people are for sure coming. Because with free events, usually people who buy tickets, usually about half of them actually come. With paid events, mostly everyone comes.
Yeah.
But with free events, people aren't obligated. So it's kind of tough, right, to judge how many people are going to show up, especially if it's your first one and if you don't have a recognizable name, it might be a little bit harder, which is why I recommend to people growing an online base first.
Yeah. So how big is your staff as far as me?
Yeah, so I have a lot of people who really work like part-time, right? So there's a lot of contractors that I hire, like freelancers and stuff, interns and everything. But there's probably about anywhere from 5 to 10 people working with me on this project and on this. But one of my main focuses right now is building out my team and building out an elite team to really be able to scale this. So I'm going to be hiring a lot of top talent and looking to start raising capital to really scale this to the next level, and to really make this into a real real big network for entrepreneurs, and with a lot of value, a lot of high level content, and a really great application for people to communicate with right through the platform, and set up calls very easily and everything. So there's a lot of exciting things ahead. But yeah, one of the main things I'm focused on is finding top talent right now as well.
Okay. So what is the most difficult aspect of this kind of business? Today's episode is sponsored by Me Group. On May 23rd, Me Group is hosting a startup and entrepreneur networking event. The event will take place from 5 to 8 p.m. in Manhattan on 1740 Broadway on the 15th floor. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. And guess what, guys? Tickets are free. So hurry up. Go to Eventbrite and sign up.
The most difficult aspect. So every startup is different, right? For me right now, and kind of just going back to what I was just saying, the most difficult thing for me, because of the situation that I'm in, is finding now top talent and resources to take this to the next level. So because I don't have a technical background, I was an engineer and everything, but I'm not a coder or anything. I'm not a software engineer.
Right.
So I need to find a technical partner who, and I've had people come through, and I've worked with some developers before who have built out our Me Social application right now. So we have a beta of the social network live, and but it's taking that to the next level and integrating that with the university, so it's a seamless transition to the education side of things. And so the hardest part for my business and a lot of other startups is finding top level talent, and then also resources, otherwise known as capital, or other ways to really scale your business to next level.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of companies who have the resources, and that's the only reason why they're able to get to the next level, whereas other companies don't have those resources and are left behind.
Where do you find that people are struggling the most as entrepreneurs? Where do they lack the most knowledge or need the most help?
Great question. I would say, I mean, a lot of it, honestly, is just getting started and stop spending time trying to develop a well thought out business plan and a perfect name and a perfect logo and a perfect website and all of this stuff. And instead, just start doing stuff, start putting your stuff out there, actually try to sell something, figure out, do people actually want this, whatever it is that you're trying to do, instead of working on the business model and all the behind the scenes stuff. That is going to waste so much time. And instead of doing that, your startups and in every business, their business plans change all the time. Every business is constantly adapting to new trends, technology, everything. And if you aren't adapting, you are going to be out of business in the coming year, in a few years.
Yeah.
So every business is changing up their business plan all the time. So why is that the main focus? If you look on anywhere online and you type in, how do I start a business? The number one thing is write a business plan. I would disagree with that. I would say just get going. Think of a name. You can always change your name later. It doesn't matter. Name, domain name, website, social media accounts, get an LLC if you need it, and start going to work. Start selling something, start, talking to people, start signing people up on your email list, put something together that you can offer, put together a product or a service, something,
Yeah.
and just start seeing if people want it.
Right.
That's like the biggest problem.
Yeah, because you sit and you do your business plan, you think of the perfect name, and then you realize there's no market for this. Nobody cares.
Yep.
So what is the most fulfilling part of your day professionally? What makes you wake up every day saying, "Oh, I can't wait to get started"?
Good question.
Thanks.
It's really just talking to amazing entrepreneurs like yourself.
Oh, thank you.
I love bouncing ideas off of people, helping entrepreneurs get started, helping entrepreneurs grow, helping them think of new ways to generate revenue, to do something a different way, to think of an idea, to help them get started with a different type of business model, to help them with their funnel or their email list or their social media or their website, whatever. I love ideas. I love new things, new technologies. So whenever I get a chance to talk to amazing people doing amazing things, that's what I love doing, and that's what I spend most of my time doing. And besides that, just growing this community and working on content for it, so that these entrepreneurs in our network can really get the information that they need to take themselves and then also their business to the next level.
Nice. So what is your favorite platform right now?
My favorite platform. So By platform, you mean
Like,
social media
yeah, social media
or?
platform. Sorry, I should have said that.
Okay.
Yeah, like, do you
No, you're
love
good. You're good.
Instagram, Facebook?
So right now, and this is probably pretty much a consensus for most people, is Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about Instagram, though, is most people don't understand how to use it effectively for business.
Yeah.
And then most of the people on there are just using it for entertainment purposes or to pick up, guys or girls or whatever, just, creep on people and
Mm-hmm.
and whatever else, people do on there. But if you use it for business, if you use it as a creator rather than a consumer, you can move a lot of people to your platform or to your website and everything. The problem is most people just focus on posting and hashtagging and how many followers they have and how many likes they're getting. That's great, but honestly, I could care less about all of that stuff.
Yeah.
What makes Instagram so valuable is the fact that people are so active on there. But the question is, how are you getting people from Instagram to your website, to your podcast, to your email list, to your video, to whatever it is that you're wanting them to go to?
Mm-hmm.
How are you moving people from Instagram to your website or whatever? That is the real value, or that is the real reason you should be using Instagram. The Instagram doesn't mean anything. Instagram is just a tool to generate leads. That's it. And if you understand that, then you can start using it effectively. But that's the real value. So to do that, you have to be doing outreach. You have to be doing outbound engagement. You have to be liking, commenting, following, messaging on other people's highly targeted people who are in your same market. You have to be targeting those people and leaving comments and messages on their accounts. That starts the conversation. Then you can send them the link to whatever it is that you want.
Yeah. It's a very tricky tool, but you're right. You have to understand how to use it for it to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could lay out how you want things to evolve in your business over the next couple years, what would that look like?
Another great question. So I try not to focus so much on necessarily goals, but just have the vision in place, right? So,
Yeah, just putting it out in the universe.
right. So our main focus is having the largest network and education platform for entrepreneurs. And I want to get there by the end of the year.
Awesome.
So for the next 3 to 5 years, then we're going to be rolling out, events in every, events all around the country, all around the world for entrepreneurs every month. Mm-hmm. We're going to be rolling out university campuses with our own co-working spaces and classrooms and studios and like Airbnb style rooms for students. Then we're going to be having launching a whole marketplace to help people launch and sell and promote their products for free. And then there's a lot of other stuff in the works, but those are some of the main things that we're going to be focused on going forward. But like I said, our main goal is scaling and becoming the largest network of entrepreneurs, the largest education platform, and then turning that physical is phase 2, right? Is turning it physical with events, with workshops, with trainings in cities all across the world, and then same thing with the university and having physical locations where students can actually interact with each other, take classes together, work together, work on their businesses together, have studios and equipment for them to record podcasting and videos and have cameras to take pictures and whatever else that they're trying to do, right in the campus. And then there's a lot of other things in the works, but that's that's what we're focused on, and that's the main vision, right? I try not to set necessarily like specific goals, but just the overall thing
Yeah.
that we want to accomplish.
That sounds amazing. And I'm sure it'll be better and bigger than your vision. So, we'll just have to see what happens. I love when I usually ask people who have like done like really, successful things that, did you see this happening for yourself? And usually they're like, no, it like exceeded whatever I thought. It went way beyond that. So I always feel like that's a great thing to look forward to, to see how it actually plays out.
Yeah, I mean, the universe is an interesting place, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
we'll 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 definitely be interested to see how things turn out and how everything works. But just continuing to grow this community, things will work out one way or another. And it's nice to just have like-minded people in one place and just having conversations with people every day that are doing awesome things, and figuring out a way where we can help them grow that or start that is worth everything.
So do you feel like you're following your passion and living in your purpose?
Totally. I think things are as clear as they've ever been, and it's one of those things where you kind of have to go through a lot of ups and downs, and when you take the step out to self-discovery, it's a very interesting place because a lot of what you have to go through is figuring out what you don't like to do, and the stuff that really is just not. You have to figure out what's not you to figure out what is you, if that makes sense at all.
Yes, that's so good. Yeah, I love that. That's a really good one. Yeah, that's true. That's a good place to start. Figure out what you don't like to do first.
Yeah, I mean, some people are lucky. Some people, it's very clear for them what they should do, right? And it might be very clear, and then other people it is clear, but they don't even take the step, right?
Yeah.
Most people, and I find this with myself included, most people know what they should be doing. They're just not doing it.
Wow.
It's really weird, but if you break it down, I'm sure you can find instances in your own life, just as I have and continue to do. You find ways to trick yourself and or to doubt yourself, or to put negative or limiting beliefs or thoughts, right? But if you can keep positive and just do what you should do, it kind of all works out.
Yeah, that is so interesting. It's true. Very true. You're very smart, Michael. You got some good ideas and thoughts up there. So now you have to share an Oh Hell No moment with us, because this is the Oh Hell No podcast. Oh Hell No moments can be positive, negative. They could be professional, personal, but it's a moment that you've had and we want to know about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna need a little bit more context for this, just so I know that I'm doing it right and I'm doing your podcast justice with my Oh Hell No moment. So
all right, it could be something that occurred. You could have been like in a meeting, or you could have been doing something, and something happened in front of you and you're like, or to you, and you're like, oh hell no, this did not just happen. Like something like that, and it could be a personal thing. It could be, not work related, or it could be work related. Maybe someone asked you to do something or wanted to give you something and you're like, oh hell no, what? But you don't actually say that to them, but you had those thoughts. Or maybe you did say, oh hell no, get out of here.
Well, all right. This is, I could definitely think of another one, but it's kind of funny because this literally just happened to me like 2 hours ago. I I was leaving the gym, right? And this guy was getting off the elevator, and then there was a door right there, and I was coming up the steps at the same time, and he was just getting off the elevator as I was opening the door. So I figured, like, I'll be a nice person and just hold the door open for him, right? And he just like takes several steps, walks through the door, doesn't even acknowledge me.
Wow.
Just keeps going. And I was just like,
oh hell no, right?
no.
He did not just do that. I hate that. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves, when you hold the door for someone and they don't even acknowledge your existence. It's so rude.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I don't mind it if it's one of those like short door holds, right? It's just like you're walking, they're right behind you, right? And it's just like whatever. But it was like a very, like, I held the door open. He took like several steps and then went through the door. And I was clearly like, obviously holding the door for him, like, I'm going to come after you, like, you go ahead. It was just one of those things.
People are so...
But yeah, that was funny. I was just like, I just like stood there for a second after, and I was just like,
really?
Are you serious? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, some people are very self-absorbed, and they're just all in their head, and they don't even realize that, this is an act of kindness. Just appreciate it and say thanks, man. I always say thank you whenever someone holds the door. I don't even care if it's like the short step, if I'm like right on top of your heels. I'm like, oh, thank you. I think it's just so polite, especially when a man is going through the door and he'll hold it open for you first. I really appreciate those kind gestures. So, yeah, I really don't like that. So tell everyone how they can become a member of Me and keep up with all things Me, please.
Yes. So the easiest way to get involved, get into our community, get into the university, get into the social network, and even, you can set up a call with me as well. So just go to megroup.tv and you'll get access to everything right after you join. It's totally free. Like we've talked about, I give away a lot of free stuff just because, I've been there with buying a bunch of courses and all of that stuff. So we're trying to give out a lot of information and value for free to our community. And then we're going to be doing a very cool thing coming soon where we're going to be featuring an Entrepreneur of the Day. And that will be exciting, and you'll get an opportunity to be on that and everything if you're a member of our network.
And guys, the content is really good. Like, I was shocked when I was going through everything, and I was like, oh my God, this is like really good content. It's not like that ridiculousness that you see that's just like the teaser before you get charged $200, So It's really good information. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining me on the podcast today. I really enjoyed our conversation and all the information that you shared with me and my guests today.
Yeah, Nicole, is awesome. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and definitely excited about everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for having me on. You're doing amazing things. Just keep it up. This is an awesome show you have, and you're doing amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.